What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Horror Gamer, and welcome back to another Horror Haven LLC. As I just said, I'm your host, Horror Gamer.
And I'm Gabs. Hi, friend.
Hey, Gabs, how's it going this week?
Oh, I'm okay. How about yourself?
Oh, hanging in there.
Oh, I do have to give a little, I should have said this in our little pre-show chat. I am having some issues with my left ear.
No.
So if I'm asking you to repeat yourself a lot tonight, I'm really, really sorry. But for everybody that doesn't know, I have a lot of health problems. And right now my sinuses are pushing my whatever ear tube shut on my left side and I can't hear. So sorry.
Well, you know what, guys? We'll power through it. Just like you're going to power through it. It's all going to be all right.
Well, I could completely hear you. Like I said on our little pre-chat, I can hear you fine. I just have my head turned, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll power through it.
Okay, but anyway, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're recording on a Friday night instead of our Saturday afternoon, so this is really exciting. If you want to get in on the conversation, please email us at horrorhavenllc@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram or Slasher at Horror Haven LLC or on Twitter at Horror LLC. Believe me, you guys, you want to join our very good friend Christina J and become a patron. There's so much good stuff there. Who doesn't want to run their own show? You pick the topic. You tell us what we're talking about. It's all you. And you get to be our co-host. Who wouldn't love that?
Who wouldn't want to hang out with your boy Horror Gamer and your girl Gabby Gore for a show?
We're a lot of fun.
I think we are. I think we're pretty fun. Not to toot our horn, but
I mean, let's be honest. I think we're pretty great people. So, Horror Gamer, I watched a movie today.
Oh yeah, what movie did you watch?
The Curse of La Llarona.
Oh, La Llorona.
Have you heard of this movie?
Have I heard of this movie, Gabs? Let me tell you a little something about La Llorona, okay? This movie is based on an actual urban legend.
Are you serious?
I'm 100% serious. See, here's a little backstory, okay?
Okay.
A lot of you guys don't know, your boy Horror Gamer, well, he's half Mexican. And when I was younger, my mother, who was, who was Mexican.
And the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my entire life, by the way.
She is absolutely stunning. I miss her. I love her. But when I was bad, she would always say, if you don't shape up, La Llorona's going to come get you.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did. And let me tell you something. I remember being this little chubby Mexican kid. and every time she said, La Llorona's coming, I would start screaming and running behind her. She'd be like, no, don't run behind me now. You should have been being good, She would just go off. But now, Gabs, La Llorona is, not only is she an urban legend, but she is, there have been actual 100% documented proof of her existence.
Well, it sounds to me like you know a lot about this La Llorona. Let's get this movie out of the way, and then I want to hear all about the actual legend.
And I got a little surprise for you and everybody else after we talk about this movie.
Oh my God, what is it? No, don't tell me, but I really want to know, but don't say anything, okay?
Okay,
but tell me now, but don't.
Yep, lips are sealed. Let's tackle the movie and the plot of the movie and all that other stuff, and then we'll get to the goodies.
Oh, I can't concentrate now. I really want to know what the surprise is, you guys. I really love surprises.
But I'll tell you what though, it is definitely going to be worth the wait.
All right. Oh God. Okay. Let's get through the movie quickly then, because, so this movie, The Curse of La Llorona, if everybody is familiar, and if you're listening to us, you have to be familiar with the Conjuring universe. This movie is part of the Conjuring universe. the movie starts with a woman and her 2 children. The woman is breathtaking beautiful. Her children are gorgeous. They're playing together. And one of the sons notices that the other one is gone. And so is the mother. He searches for them and he finds the mother drowning his brother, which, by the way, as a mom, I don't like stuff like that. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of checked out a little bit. I don't like kids getting hurt, and I certainly don't like to see them getting killed. But that's just a personal thing on me, especially because I think one of the kids was right around the age of my son, and that just freaks me out so bad. But I digress.
Yep, I can see where that can hit close to home. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I don't like that. But the little boy tries to run away, and she catches him. She kills him. So that's kind of the end of that part. So you're like, what in the hell was that? So we move on and we find this is a completely non-horror show, but is anybody familiar with Dead to Me, starring Christina Applegate and Linda Cardellini? I did not know that Linda Cardellini was in this movie, and I love her on Dead to Me. So if anybody ever needs a break from horror and wants to watch something really funny, Dead to Me on Netflix.
You know,
right now.
You know how I know Linda Cardellini?
Velma
from Scooby-Doo,
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm going to throw this little plug out there. If anybody wants to get away from the horror and watch a good comedy, watch that Scooby-Doo, Joan.
Matthew Lillard. Stu from Scream is Shaggy.
Legend. He is by far, next to Casey Kasem, man, Matthew Lillard is Shaggy.
He is. And you know what's funny? If you ever need a break from horror, but you don't need a break from your horror icons, Freddie Prinze Jr. plays Fred, and Sarah Michelle Gellar plays Daphne. So, wow.
Right there. You literally have I Know What You Did Last Summer. You have Scream.
Mm-hmm.
All in one movie.
Yeah. And The Curse of La Llorona, but that came later.
Yeah, that came later. So you have like 4 horror icons basically in one movie, and they're actually playing beloved characters. And it's still, I like to call that light horror.
They did really well. You know, I saw the first Scooby-Doo at the drive-in.
Yeah, I saw it. I believe I saw it at the drive-in too.
Do you still have a drive-in where you live?
We do not. Unfortunately, the people from around this area, they got greedy. They sold the drive-in, and then they tried at the very end to save it, but it was just too late. And now guess what? They sold it to these people where they were supposed to make a big duplex with like a movie theater and some apartment buildings. A field where cows roam. It's all full of grass and nothing in it.
Here.
Oh, I'm so pissed. And I drive by it a lot. And when I drive by it, I remember the nights going to the drive-in movie theater with my parents to watch horror movies and stuff like that. And it just breaks my heart seeing it the way it is. Like, I wish somebody would buy that back up.
Yeah.
And bring back the drive-in, because with like coronavirus and everything, the drive-in would probably be one of the most perfect movie-going experiences.
What a great way to watch a movie. I haven't been to the drive-in in a few years. We do still have one here. Shout out to Pike Drive-In in Montgomery, Pennsylvania. But they are fantastic. And yeah, it's been a few years, but there is absolutely, for me personally, no better movie watching experience than at the drive-in.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. Every time you go, it could be the worst movie you've ever seen in your entire life, but you had a good time because you were at the drive-in.
Exactly. I mean, look at like legends like Joe Bob. What is his show called? The Last Drive-In.
Yeah.
But, that captures what the drive-in is. Shitty movies, great experience. You know what I mean?
Having a blast with it. I believe the last time I went to the drive-in, I saw it was like a Halloween. It was in October, and it was like a Halloween scary movie marathon. I believe I saw, if I remember correctly, Night of the Living Dead.
I'm so jealous.
At the drive-in.
Yeah. I'm so jealous.
You know what? I know it was because it was the first time I ever watched it from beginning to end.
Oh God,
yeah.
You're so lucky.
So cool. It would have. The only thing that would have made it cooler is if they had the clip-on speakers.
Yeah.
For your rearview mirror, but now it's just on a radio channel. So.
I have a list. I actually have a list of like movies I would love to see in the drive-in. Night of the Living Dead, Halloween.
Yes, Halloween.
I also want to see the first Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that would be so good.
That's like if I could ever fucking get a triple feature like that at a drive-in, seventh heaven, I'd do shit.
I'm telling you, contact Pike Drive-In. Maybe we should start a campaign.
That would be cool.
That would be really fun. Okay, listeners, hello, everybody.
Yeah.
It's really cheap to come to Williamsport, Pennsylvania and stay. So start a campaign, Pike Drive-In. Tell them that this is the triple feature that we want.
Hell yeah.
Get it going and let us know that you did it. horrorhavenllc@gmail.com.
That would be epic. And you know what, Gabs? That could be even something that we could also push to, and maybe you and I could host the shit.
Done and done.
That would be epic as shit.
Oh my God, I would die. That'd be so fun.
Do that shit around Halloween time too?
Yeah. Oh, it was so cool when we went to see that Halloween double feature. That it was Night of the Living Dead, and I can't remember what the other one was. I probably fell asleep because I am an old lady and 11 o'clock is my expiration. That's my Cinderella. The coach turns into a pumpkin and I have to go to bed.
Same here.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm pretty much done. But
I'm such a Cinderella at 11.
Yeah, it's done and it's over. I don't even make it to midnight. It's 11 o'clock on a weekend is my night. Like, that's my time. I'm done. But yeah, seeing it in the fall, you know, where we live, listeners, in Pennsylvania, we have the rolling hills and we have the best foliage.
Oh yeah.
In America, and just to have just behind those screens all those beautiful colors and the crisp fall air.
Yes.
In your hoodie and
Definitely
your comfy socks and your comfy boots, and you have a blanket wrapped around your shoulder. It's just, there is no greater experience than the drive-in. There really isn't.
Absolutely not. Driving in the fall in Pennsylvania, nope, can't beat that shit. With
you cannot.
Metal pool, you can't.
Nope. Yeah, so Pike Drive-In, hello. We want to do something with you.
Yes, reach out.
We were talking about Curse of La Llorona.
Oh, no, Gabs, before we get deeper into La Llorona, your boy Horror Gamer got to throw this out. Everybody, fucking spoiler alert.
Yes.
Don't want to spoil. We spoiled a little bit at the beginning, but spoiler alert now. So anything beyond this point is on y'all. So, Gabs.
In the middle of talking about the drive-in, I was like, in my head, I was like, shit, I have to say something about spoiler alert. Okay.
It's like we're on the same wavelength here. I got you, Gabs.
We've been talking for a long time. I think we're about, I would say, 2 months away from finishing each other's sentences.
Something like that. Shit.
Yeah. We might actually already do it and we just don't notice it yet.
Yeah, probably. Listeners, let us know.
Yes. And tell us how awesome we are with our friendship.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, you got to tell us. Hell yeah. Shit, just tell us how awesome we are in general.
I mean, hello.
I mean,
okay,
we already know. But
everybody, we're joking. I don't want any emails about how awful we are. We're really just joking.
Conceited assholes. We're just kidding, guys. We're just trying to have a good time. We're really not that
laugh in horror, people. It's okay to laugh.
Yes. Just because we're horror doesn't mean we're druids, okay? You can get one laugh a little bit.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Okay, so like Horror Gamer said, I'm getting into spoilers here. So, speaking of Linda Cardellini, Velma from Scooby-Doo, and I can't remember her name from Dead to Me, but she's so good. Jen. I think her name is Jen on Dead to Me. She is a widow I believe that takes place in the 70s, doesn't it?
Yeah, this one takes place in the 70s. Yep.
Yeah, so she's a widow. She has a little boy and a little girl who are adorable. Mm-hmm. Her husband died. He was a cop. He died. And she is a social worker. And so she's just living the life of a single mom, a widowed mom. You know, she's getting the kids ready for school. She's getting them off to school. She's going to work. She's a social worker. Mm-hmm. And her boss, I think he has the best of intentions, but he's trying to lighten her load a little bit. And there's a specific case that she has some interest in, Patricia Alvarez and her 2 sons. And her boss comes to her and he's like, listen, I'm gonna take this off your hands. We got a new girl. Let's give her something to do, and let's let you take it easy for a little bit. And she says, you know what? No. Which, by the way, in the 70s, okay, step up to your boss.
Right? Let me try to say no to my boss now. They'll be like, okay, go home with no pay. All right,
exactly.
Sure.
Exactly. I don't think I've ever said no to my boss. I wouldn't even know what that's like.
I wish I could say no to my boss.
I love my boss, though. If he happens to ever listen, which he won't. But I love my boss. They have the best job in the world. Just throwing that out there. Christmas bonus. Anyway. So Linda Cardellini, Anna is her name in the movie. They try to give her case with Patricia Alvarez away. And she fights for it. She wants it. She wants to keep it. She has a rapport with this woman. She wants to stick with it. He says, okay, but listen, you're not going over there without a police escort. She says, fine. If that's the compromise, that's the compromise. Okay. So she goes there. Patricia's there. She doesn't want to let her into the apartment, which is weird. Which, by the way, the apartment building is super creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. So she bargains with Patricia. Listen, if you let me in, the cop will stay out in the hallway. So she goes inside, and eventually they make it to, she's looking for the kids. The kids are nowhere to be found. Eventually they make it to a bedroom. She finds a closet door locked with eyeballs on it, painted eyes all over it. Mm-hmm. And she and Patricia get into like a physical altercation over, give me the key. Mm-hmm. The cop comes in, they get the key, she opens the door, and the children are in there.
Yeah.
And they have burns on their wrists. What's that about? So, obviously, they take the kids away to a local, I don't know, like orphanage, group home, foster place. I don't know really what it is. What's that?
I think it was a group home.
A group home. Okay. So they go over there, and she goes home. The kids are at the place. And she goes home to her kids. She has bath night. Everything is normal. In the meantime, the kids are getting murdered.
Yeah, that, I'll tell you what.
There's a lot of kid death in this movie. I think that might be part of the reason that you lost me. You kill an animal, you kill a child. Adults, whatever. But, little babies and little puppadoos and little kitties, I can't.
There's a little bit of fuckery that goes around in this movie, especially when it comes to like kids and like that scene that you said about them being locked in the closet and shit. I'll tell you what, like it's explained. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but there was a reason that these kids were locked in this closet with the eyes on them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a specific reason, but you think it's something else when you first see it.
Yeah. Well, you think it's a crazy mom.
You think it's a crazy, overbearing mom because the main reason that Linda Cardellini's character was called into this was because the kids weren't in school for like what? I think they said like 2 weeks.
Something like that, yeah.
So, and then that's when all this shit started happening. But there was, I'll let you get back to it, guys. But I just wanted to let the listeners know right now, you guys think that this bitch is a psycho, but there is a specific, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Anna gets a phone call. Linda Cardellini gets a phone call in the middle of the night, letting her know that the Alvarez children are dead, drowned.
Yeah.
Their bodies were found under either a bridge or an overpass. I can't remember. And I have a lot of issues with this movie. I get that, like, you're single now. you don't have anybody that you can call in the middle of the night. You're going to a crime scene, the death of 2 young children. And what does Anna do? Come on, kids, get in the car.
Yep, going for a drive.
Yeah.
Grab your doll. Let's go.
Yeah. So she pulls up to the crime scene and she's got her kids in the car. It's so bizarre to me. She's got her kids in the car and she parks. I think she thinks that if she parks far enough away, like she's good. But kids are kids. And she's like, stay in the car. And the kids are like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we got that, Mom.
Yep. Yeah, sure. Yeah. And too trusting. And so one of her kids gets out of the car, and who does he run into? La Llorona. And a little bit of creepy happens there. He makes it back into the car, locks the doors. La Llorona comes up, and she's all supernatural. She's unlocking the doors. She's trying to get in. It's creepy, scary. It's crazy. Eventually, it ends with Anna getting back to the car, and everything's okay.
Yeah.
Wait, but there was La Llorona grabbed his hand though. He had the burn marks on his wrist, right?
Yes. So basically, she lured him in with her cry because she was heard her wailing and crying, and that's that's La Llorona. That is her like trademark.
Yeah.
Is crying and weeping. I mean, in Spanish, La Llorona is translated into the weeping woman.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So.
Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah. I not very well. I used to speak nothing but Spanish, but as when I moved up here from El Paso, Texas, because I'm originally from El Paso area, I spoke nothing but Spanish. But as the years went by, I think I was like 4 or 5 when we moved up here. And my mom, at the time, it was frowned upon to know 2 languages. And my mom thought it would be better if I made English my primary. So we never stuck with like being bilingual.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's a shame because nowadays, bilingual is the way to go.
Yeah. I'm teaching my 3-year-old Spanish.
Yeah, well, see, maybe you can give me a couple Spanish lessons too.
Oh, please. I'm teaching it to him on his phone because there's no way.
Because I'll tell you what, I only know like some of the cuss words because that's but other than that, like, as long, I can let them slip at work, and like if I'm like talking to somebody who don't know Spanish, they have no idea. They have no
idea that you just called them a dick.
Yeah, but like you're a fucktard. I said in Spanish, so they don't get so.
Perfect. All right, so some more stuff happens. I mean, this movie, Horror Gamer really liked this movie.
Yes.
It's an okay movie for me. I don't know.
I mean, see, here's the reason why I like this so much, guys.
Okay.
I was watching basically my childhood on that screen.
Yeah, you have a very like sentimental attachment to this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it was a legend that I grew up with. It was something that was told to me, and it was told to all of us children when we were younger. If you misbehave, La Llorona's gonna come get you. And
I can see that.
And and it's a lot of like Spanish-speaking countries, But here's the beauty of it: each legend, sometimes it depends who tells it. Like, if somebody who's Mexican tells it to you, somebody who's Puerto Rican tells it to you, somebody who's like from Spain tells it to you. Little bits and pieces change from here, but ultimately, the outcome is like the same.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's crazy. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about this. I really, really, really... Listen, you guys, if you want to watch this movie, watch this movie. Obviously, there's going to be more spoilers, so let's put that back out there. Yes. I really want to get through this because I really, really, really want to hear what Horror Gamer has to tell me about this because you're giving a lot of hints, and I'm into it.
Oh, yeah. So, that's what I'm doing. I'm dropping the hit bombs, putting that in your mindset.
I mean, I'm ready. Okay, let me finish this. I really want to get into this. Okay, so La let's see here. I'm reading my notes. La Llorona has attached herself to the family, Anna's family, her and her 2 kids. So more stuff happens, whatever. Anna's dead husband's partner comes to the house and he's like, hey, I brought you guys some pizza. Let's cheer you up. And the kids are like, you know, not like regular, you know, you can tell that there's something wrong with the kids, because if you've ever met a child in your life, all you have to do is say pizza and they'll burn the building down for their pizza. They don't care.
Yeah, I'm the same way at 30,
yeah.
at 36. Pizza.
Oh my God. We had 3 different kinds of pizza tonight because we wanted pizza. So we had pepperoni supreme and meat lovers because I couldn't decide. And I love me some pizza. Anyway, now that we've heard the level of my hoggishness, let's keep going.
Legendary.
So he comes in, he's like, I'm going to cheer everybody up. And the kids are like, whatever. And Anna's like, oh, we're just having a rough time. Which, by the way, that is believable. Their dad died.
Yeah.
You know, so I can see where he's like, whatever. He goes over the case file. Anna ends up going to talk to Patricia Alvarez in jail. And she's like, you know, I just need to know why you did this. What happened? Whatever. And Patricia is still on this La Llorona thing. And she ends the conversation with telling Anna, you're going to lose your kids and you're going to suffer just like me because La Llorona is on you.
Yep. Yep. And this is where you find out, this scene that you're talking about, this is where you find out the whole closet situation.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you find out, you know, now why La Llorona is after Linda Cardellini's family. This scene right here, this interrogation scene, because at this point, this woman basically lost her whole life. She lost her kids, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not a parent, but I'm pretty sure, for you as a mother, if something were to ever happen to your baby, you might as well just take you with it.
Exactly.
And so now this woman has to live the rest of her days, not only in prison, but she has to live the rest of her days knowing that La Llorona took her children and there was nothing that she could have done to stop her. And now she's got to live the rest of her days.
Let a mythical legend bitch come after my baby. Let's just put that out on the table right now. Everybody, come after my baby. Find out.
Listen.
I'll make you an urban legend.
That's it. You go.
Fuck around and find out.
You know how they say fucking salt is supposed to deter evil spirits?
You better throw salt on my ass if you're going after my kid.
I'm telling you, you put salt in your hands and you give them a bitch slap. Now instead of the baby powder bitch slap, you give them a salt bitch slap. Ow!
I always wanted to give a baby powder bitch slap.
I always did too.
I'm a tiny lady, but I will scrap, and I will scrap about my child. Keep it in mind.
Yep. So, but that's why this woman at this point, this is when you find out, like, this is where it basically hits you with that plot twist.
This is when it kind of starts setting off. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Anna leaves the conversation with Patricia. She goes to the memorial for the Alvarez boys. And she talks to the local priest, Father Perez, who is from The Conjuring.
Yep. Yes, he is. I'm telling you, and I love it.
No, excuse me. He was in Annabelle, but in the Conjuring universe.
And I love how they kind of like mix like the characters.
Yeah.
How they all like,
Yeah. So, while she's talking to Father Perez, there's all kinds of other, like, you know, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like folk stuff going on, sage and, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And she says, well, who's that guy doing all this stuff? And please, you guys, don't at me. I'm sorry if I mispronounce this. I 100% don't mean to. no disrespect, a curandero, who's a witch doctor, a shaman or whatever. She talks to Father Perez about La Llorona, and turns out Father Perez knows a whole lot of stuff about this. And he says, now listen, that's why this shaman is here. His name's Rafael Olvera. She doesn't get it. She's like, whatever. The kids just seem to get worse and worse and worse. And she actually almost drowns her son. And that's scary. There's another thing that she's trying to grab one of the kids. They fall down the stairs. So she's just like, oh my God, this is just terrible. Like, when the child falls down the stairs, she takes him to the ER. The ER doctor sees the burns on the wrists.
Yep.
They think that she's abusing her child.
Absolutely. Well.
Yeah. And everybody starts turning on her. Her coworkers, her husband's partner / best friend. They're all like, bitch, you're crazy.
They're getting ready to take these kids. Like, it's the point
they're trying to get her kids away from her, which is, we've seen with Patricia Alvarez, not a good idea. So when she's kind of desperate and she doesn't know anywhere else to go, she doesn't know who to talk to, she goes back to Raphael. And he says, all right, I'll help you, but it's just me. I don't want a priest. I don't want anything like that. I'll take care of it. And
he didn't want to be tied to the church.
Yeah. And she's like, all right, well, got to do what you got to do. So, he's not very nice. And he's like, he's ready to be like, you know what? No, I'm not interested in this. And then little Sam.
Oh, that's
Sam, please help us, mister, or whatever he says. Oh, didn't you want to reach for the screen and grab and just be like, I'll take care of you?
Yeah, but like, I'll make sure La Llorona doesn't get you.
Yeah. So Raphael gets a bunch of stuff together so he can start helping them, and there's like a vial of like this goo, like this weird goo, and it's La Llorona's tears. Yes. So they go to the house, and they get there, and Raphael's like, hey, take these eggs, just like regular chicken eggs, like whatever, and I want you to run them along the walls, every wall in your house, run them all along there, and bring them back. I'm doing a test to see if there's evil in the house. So they're like, okay. They go, they do it. Then the eggs just start like spinning, and like the eggs themselves are like freaking out. And then they like blow up, and then Anna gets all splattered in the face with like goopy goo.
Like black.
Black sludgy kind of weirdness. So they start listening to Raphael. Raphael tells them what they need to do. They start lighting all these candles around the house. Spreading seeds. Spreading seeds across the door. I think it was just the front door, not every room of the house, right? No, it wasn't across every room of the house. It was like the outside entrances.
Yeah.
And around the windows.
It was to keep her out.
To keep her out.
Yes.
Yeah. So La Llorona comes in through a window, and Raphael uses the family as bait to get La Llorona in. She gets a hold of Chris, and he throws her goopy little nasty black tears at her.
Yes.
So she runs away. She's like, oh, well, fuck you then. And so she runs out, and she can't get back in because there's seats in front of the door, which, how did she get in the window? But I think that's a question for another time. Yeah. And so turns out the seeds have a special power over La Llorona, because when she drowned her children, if you remember, the trees had like red leaves or red flowers on them. they were the witnesses.
Yes.
So
True.
they have a power over her.
Yep. And you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
There's a scene in this movie, okay, it really freaks me out. So you remember, like, we're gonna like kind of jump back just a couple scenes. You remember when Linda Cardellini is giving her daughter a bath?
Hold on, you're buzzing. Wait, Harps, you're buzzing.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there's like some weird feedback behind you.
Oh no.
Oh wait, it
Maybe
stopped.
I was gonna say maybe it's La Llorona.
Oh my God, like Payman?
Hey.
Oh, Payman, please don't let us. We're really on a roll here. Please don't shut us down.
But but there's that game that Linda Cardellini plays with her daughter in the bathtub.
Rinsing.
She's washing her hair. You know what I mean?
Rinsing.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, rinsing. Yeah. Well, there's this scene right a little bit before this whole showdown with La Llorona takes place, where she's taking a bath and she's doing a rinsing thing, and you see La Llorona's hands come on this girl's head and pushes her under the water.
Yeah.
Doesn't hold her down, but pushes her down enough, and then she gets up and she's looking around and stuff, and you kind of see like the silhouette and shit. Like this movie delivered in scares for me, like your typical Conjuring movie. You know how the Conjuring, like the whole Conjuring universe, it has moments.
Jump scares, but it's effective.
Yes, they're jump scares, but they're effective because there's a moment of silence before the jump scare happens.
Yes, I do like
moment of stillness. It's like stillness, and then whatever happens, like it gets like amplified, like footsteps coming. They seem really loud and scary, or just like a quietness and then boo. You know what I mean? But this movie did that very well.
They did, but it is a Conjuring universe movie, so it makes sense. They do have that same kind of thing going on.
Yeah, that scene with the whole rinsing and then he pushes her under.
Yeah.
That scared shit out of me. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. No, that was creepy. I didn't like that.
No, not a fan.
So after they get La Llorona back out, the suspense is ratcheted up a little bit. Sam loses her doll like over the porch, and for some reason decides like, I'll be okay, which is kind of a dumb move, but she is a kid. She goes after the doll. La Llorona jumps out, takes her.
Yep.
And they get her back. They do. And so she's back. But when Anna, La Llorona takes her and she's in the pool.
Yes.
She's like drowning her in the pool. Yes. Anna jumps in the water, fights with La Llorona underwater. And not only does she get Sam back, but she also gets La Llorona's necklace.
Yep.
Yeah. So they get away from her and they go back in the house, but Sam's like acting all weird and she tries to keep going back outside, which Sam, chill.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, so harken back to the beginning of the movie, and poor Patricia Alvarez, she wasn't crazy, and she still lost her babies.
Yeah. Yep, she was just trying to keep them safe.
She was just trying to keep them safe that whole entire time, because what does Anna do? She puts her babies in the closet.
Yep, with the eyes.
Yeah, so, the parents go downstairs, the kid, which, by the way, what? Why would you go downstairs? You know what I mean? Like, my kids would be in the closet with their backs against one side of the door, and I would be on the other side with my back against the door.
Yeah.
And I would be talking to them and comforting them the entire time. However, I know this is a movie.
Yeah.
I'm getting picky.
They got to get ready for that big final showdown with the big bad ghouly goo. You know what I mean?
And what do you do in a horror movie when shit's popping off? You stop and make a pot of coffee.
Yep.
So they go downstairs. They get a cup of coffee. So who shows up? Not La Llorona. Patricia fucking Alvarez.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes and she grabs the kids. And Anna and Raphael are downstairs. They realize that something's going on. And La Llorona comes back.
Oh, yeah.
And she's got more strength because of Patricia Alvarez's anger and her children's souls, which I can't believe in. Patricia shoots Raphael, and you're like, oh no. And then La Llorona tosses Anna into the basement. And now the kids have to work to save themselves. They're on their own, which just terrifying. These poor kids. But in dumbass children fashion and in horror movie fashion, they don't go outside. They go to the attic. La Llorona goes up there. She's about to kill them, and then she notices that Chris is holding her necklace. The necklace, when she sees it, turns her back into her stunning, beautiful, alive self. And, you know, we think that, like, oh, well, hell, like, you know, I'm nice again. Then she looks in the mirror. As soon as she sees herself in the mirror, which I don't understand, is it ever explained how come she's beautiful, but she looks in the mirror and she sees that? My theory is that it's the guilt.
Could be.
That as soon as she looks herself in the eye, she becomes a monster again.
Yep, she's like, nope, not nice.
Yeah, because she'll never get over the fact that she killed her children. That's my theory. But she goes back to it. She tries to kill the kids again. Anna and Raphael show up. There is a cross made out of, I think it was branches from the trees that she killed her kids in front of. Am I correct?
Yes.
He gives it to Anna. Anna kills La Llorona. And that's kind of, you're like, okay, well, this is the end. It's a very cut and dry.
Yeah.
You know, okay, she's dead. We're good to go. So they call a cab for Raphael. There was no Uber back in the 70s.
Yeah, it was called Yellow Cab.
It was called Yellow Cab? I've always wanted to ride in the Yellow Cab. I've been to New York City several times in my life with the big square cabs. I've never ridden in one. I always rode the subway. I just wanted to ride in a cab. So everything's okay. But then Anna sees a puddle. And we all know what that means.
Yep.
But no, we don't, because that's the end. The end of the movie. Spoilers over.
Okay. So now let's discuss this.
Horror
Before I give you the surprise, let me discuss how I felt.
No, I want the surprise. Come on.
All right. I'll give you the surprise then.
No. Do what you're gonna do.
Okay. All right.
No, give me the surprise. No. Okay. No.
Okay. No. We're gonna go. Okay. We're gonna go with how I felt, and then we'll go for the surprise.
Okay.
All right. So, how I felt towards this ending. I thought the movie was hella strong. It brought me back to my childhood, like I said, the nostalgic of it, you know. But for me, I felt the ending was a little weak. I felt like killing La Llorona was kind of dumb, because La Llorona isn't a person that can be killed. An entity. It's a legend. It's something that goes on. You know what I mean? It's not, oh, let's run up, stab it with a fucking wooden cross, and oh, she's dead. No.
Yeah.
You know, and like you don't do that. So the ending for me was a little weak. And then they almost redeemed it when they showed the puddle, but then they went to that like straight black, and then bullshit. I was like, yeah, fuck. So it leaves you with that thought that, okay, there could be another one, or okay, this might be it for them.
It is the ending to that specific movie.
Yeah.
But what I don't like about it is it's the same ending that we've seen in 100,000 other horror. It's just, it's so tacked on.
Yes.
It's so unoriginal.
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't do nothing to like blow you away at the end.
Yeah.
Which was horrible.
Yeah, it's very wrap it up in a nice sweet bow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody survives, happy ending, everybody's together, blah blah blah. You know, it's
Yeah.
like La Llorona.
But are they? Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like, but it is what it is. I enjoyed the movie up until the end. Did the end kill the movie for me? No, because like I said, nostalgic thing.
Yeah.
And and I also heard that they also made an actual like Spanish version on Netflix. There's I believe it's called The Curse of La Llorona on Netflix. It's like subtitles and stuff, and I heard that one's actually really good. Haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
You would be shocked at while I was watching the movie, I did a little bit of research. I mean, I was watching the movie, so I wasn't really doing a lot of like, I wasn't paying close attention to what I was doing, and I didn't go really into like really in depth. There are a lot of movies about La Llorona starting in the 1930s.
Yeah, that's because this legend's been around forever.
I mean, that's a thing. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, here's the legend. Here's the actual legend. Here's part of the surprise. I'm gonna actually give you guys a little bit of the urban legend of La Llorona as told to me by my mom.
Yes, tell me.
So the legend of La Llorona, how it goes. Now, like I told you previously, it all depends who tells you this story. Okay, because in different cultures, it changes a little bit.
Okay.
But in the Mexican culture, La Llorona was this beautiful maiden. Okay, she was the most beautiful maiden in her village. And one day, this strapping young journeyman came through, and they fell in love.
Aww.
Yes, they had, it was the perfect life. They had two beautiful children, and everything was just butterflies and unicorn poop. You know what I mean? This thing was just, it was, storybook. But as La Llorona started, getting older, it happened after the birth of her second child. As she was getting older, her beauty slightly faded.
Oh no!
And of course, this
it didn't
young,
in this movie.
Yeah, I know, right? But this young, handsome journeyman, he was a piece of shit. Okay.
This dick.
Yeah, he was a complete douche nozzle.
Fuck him.
Yeah. So he went on and he was having affairs with other women.
No, he didn't.
Yes. Oh yeah, he did. And then.
Oh my god, I hate him.
And when he would come back from his travels, he would be so much different to her. His children were everything to him, though. He held his children in high regards. They were his like pride and joys. But as she would sit back and he would basically ignore her, she started having animosity towards her children. So in a fit of like rage and just like, I don't know if it was depression or if it was just her not thinking clearly, she thought, well, I'm going to hurt him as much as he hurt me.
And so she killed her babies?
Yes. And the only way that she thought that would really hurt him was to kill her babies. And so it's fucked up. Trust me, it's fucked up. Well, she takes her kids to the river and she drowns them in a fit of rage. But then when she finally comes to out of this, I'm getting chills just talking about it, man. When she comes through this fit of rage, she realizes what she's done. Now here is where the story differs from what whoever tells it. Some people say that in a fit of just like despair and sadness, she jumps into the water and drowns herself.
Oh, I would too. That poor thing.
Or there's other people who say that she came to the river bend every night, crying and weeping over her children, looking for her children until the day she died.
That makes sense too.
Yeah. So, like I said, it all depends who say it. But the story.
Wait, you know what? Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
This legend reminds me of something that happened in my real life. I worked for a women's prison for a very short time. about, how old am I? Don't want to age myself, about 16 years ago. And I worked in the mental health unit. And there was an inmate who was the only permanent inmate. Usually the mental health unit, they kind of came in, got their meds figured out, and got filtered back into GP.
Uh-huh.
And there was one. And I mean, this was 16 years ago, and I believe she had been in there for 40 years.
Uh-huh.
I won't give her name, obviously. But she had drowned her child. And she would relive that.
Mm-hmm.
She would relive that moment. And she was crazy. Nicest lady you ever knew, though.
Yeah.
But she had had a break and she drowned her child. And she would relive that experience. And to hear her wailing and screaming and crying, it was heart-wrenching because I worked night shift.
Yeah.
So that was, oh God, that poor lady. And when she wasn't freaking out, she was just the sweetest lady.
Well,
Yeah.
That sucks, and that sucks for the fact that, like, I don't feel sorry she was in there for what she did, because you don't ever do that. But to relive that over and over again.
Oh, it's just so sad.
Yeah, that can be sad because, you got to relive that experience until the day you die. I couldn't imagine. Doing that. But so that's basically the, who tells the story of La Llorona. She'll walk every night, weeping and wailing and looking for her kids. Now, here's where the fun part comes. Okay, there's, like I said, the part that I was told when I was younger is bad. La Llorona comes to get you.
Yeah.
But the actual urban legend goes that if you're ever out at night and you hear the sound of La Llorona, you need to be careful, because if you find her and if she's by the riverbend, she will actually pull you into the riverbend and drown you. And that goes for adults, that goes for kids, anything. Her legend in Central America is just so, like, it's almost law out there. You know what I mean? They believe in her so much that I feel that they've actually brought her into existence. And here's why I say that. There is video footage of just like wailing in the middle of the night and nobody's there. But you hear the screaming and the crying of, like, what it sounds like a mother who's lost her kids.
Where do we find this? On YouTube?
You can find it on YouTube. I've seen it on certain TV shows. But yeah, look up La Llorona. And there's actually some people who believe they caught her on camera. Now,
sightings or just that they hear her?
Some people have actually said that they saw her.
Oh.
But they've saw her from a distance and they have her on camera. So, like I said, here's the thing with urban legend. If people believe in it hard enough, they can actually bring it to life. Like, that's actually been proven. Like, with, like, Slender Man and stuff. You know how Slender Man got started? It was just a internet thing. Well, now there's actually documented sightings of Slender Man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I forget what the phenomenon's called. I have to look it up, but there's a phenomenon. It's actually a real phenomenon where if enough people believe in something, they can actually bring it to life or make it real.
What?
Yes, and it's a documented phenomenon. And I think that La Llorona is one of those phenomena, because here's the surprise, okay? This is a two-part surprise. I'm going to tell you a little ghost story from when your boy Horror Gamer was, I want to say, I had to have been like 4. It was right before we moved to Pennsylvania. I was staying with my grandmother in Mexico for a little while. And
you were in Mexico.
I was in Mexico. Okay?
Oh, no.
And this is when you were telling the story about the egg, I was holding back my excitement because this is 100% legit true.
Oh my God, stop. I already have goosebumps.
So when I was about 4 or 5, I was staying with my grandparents, and I got insanely sick. I'm talking about literally on the verge of death sick. Like, they took me to the doctors. The doctors never seen anything like it before. They didn't know how to treat me. And I was literally knocking on death's door. And my grandmother didn't know what to do. And at the time, my mom and dad were up in Texas, getting ready to come to Pennsylvania because my dad had just gotten a job up this way. And they were looking for a place while I was staying with my grandparents or my grandmother.
Yeah.
Well, my grandmother calls my mom and says, "You need to get here as soon as possible. You know, your son is very sick. We don't know what to do. Doctor says there's nothing we can do. He looks, you know, he's probably going to die." And my mom, of course, you know, first plane over.
Your poor mom. I cannot even imagine.
She rushed to Mexico. She got there the next day. Okay. And I'm laying there. I'm like literally like dying.
Yeah.
And after every option was exhausted, out of desperation, my grandmother reached out to a faith healer or a witch doctor, kind of like the guy in
like Raphael?
Yeah, like Raphael.
Shut up.
Okay. So he comes in the room, and as soon as I remember this, but it's kind of faded because I was really sick, so I was fading in and out, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember him walking into the room, looking at my mother and saying, "Do you have enemies?" And he was like, "Do you have anybody who would want to hurt you in any way?" And my mom was like, "Not that I'm aware of." Why? He was like, he looked at my mom straight faced, as stone cold as I'm telling you this now. He looked at her and said, "I believe that somebody put a curse on you and it attached itself to your son. And it's going to take your son."
No.
Yes. So my mom
Horror
said,
gamer? Oh my God.
Shit's crazy. And it's not even the craziest part. And my mom looked at him and said, "Sir, please do whatever you have to do to save my son." And he said, "I'll do what I can." So he burns the sage and everything, does the praying and everything, and he takes this fucking egg, okay? And he starts rubbing the egg all over my body. And he's saying a prayer in Spanish. And he's saying this prayer, he's rubbing this egg. And then when he's done saying the prayer, he takes this egg and breaks this egg into the bowl.
Okay.
Gabs, the yolk and everything was black.
Shut your mouth.
It was black.
I am over you right now. Are
It
you
was
serious?
It rotted the egg. Whatever curse was on me rotted this egg.
Stop it.
And then guess what?
What?
He said, "I believe I got it." He said, "Let him rest. We'll see how he comes up tomorrow." Next day I woke up, I started getting better.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I started getting better, and as each day went by, I started getting better and better, and after a week I was back to my normal self.
So rolling the egg over your body, it took the evil out of you.
As he was saying the prayer. So basically what the belief is, as he's praying, the embryo of this egg and the yolk and everything is sucking up the evil spirit. And the evil spirit is actually being manifested and transferred into this egg. And then when you break the yolk, it's supposed to get rid of the evil spirit.
Oh my God, quit it. I'm so tired of you.
I'm
so freaked out right now. I can't stand it.
But here's the fucked up thing about this whole thing. ever since then, I can't see or talk to ghosts, but I can sense like if something's haunted. I can sense if there's something in the room. Like I can walk into a house, and if it's haunted, I can tell you. I can be like, I think it's haunted. I can feel presences. You know, it's weird.
So he took the evil away from you, and he gave you a gift.
Pretty much, or something stayed behind. You know, it's just a little more of like an alertness. Like I said, I can't see it. I can't I'm not like Haley Joel Osment in fucking The Sixth Sense. You know what I'm saying?
I hated that movie.
Yeah, I can't see dead people. I'm gonna tell you that now. I can't see dead people, but I just have like my senses are heightened when it comes to certain things. Like it's so fucking weird. And then here's the kicker. I actually, believe it or not, I know a lot of people are going to listen to this podcast and be like, Horror Gamer, you are full of shit, but I am 100% telling you the honest to God truth. I believe that myself and my family had a La Llorona experience. Okay? And this is why.
Do you think that it was La Llorona that was the curse that was making you sick, or is there more to this?
I don't know if it was her that was the curse. I don't really think so, but I feel like maybe that my new sense of like heighteness and stuff maybe attracted her.
Okay.
Because it was like a year or so later, we went down to Mexico to visit my grandmother, my mom, my dad, and I, and we were sleeping. And they live in a desert, okay. And it's really weird because of, like I said, the stories and stuff. And I was being a little prick, you know, saying I'll be a little badass, you know. And my mom, La Llorona will come get you.
Kids are assholes. I get it.
Yeah. So, well, she put me to bed, and then later that night, I'll never forget this for as long as I live. I'm laying there sleeping, and I get jolted out of my sleep in the middle of the night by my mom kind of like shooting up, and us hearing wailing and crying from outside in the middle of the desert at night.
You are lying.
No, it was, we heard the crying and the screaming. Like,
what?
Oh my God. And I started freaking out because not more than 4 hours prior, my mom said, if you don't behave, La Llorona's going to come get you.
And you still acted a fool.
And I acted a fool still. And then here we are. It's like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And we're all being awakened by this fucking crying. This
woman. My God.
And
I would die.
Here's the part that like really freaks me out is, yes, they were neighbors, but the way they lived in the desert, the houses were very spread out. You know what I mean? And this sounded like she was outside of the window.
It wasn't coming from
a
quarter mile away or whatever.
No. It was literally coming from outside the window, and the dogs were barking. My grandmother come running in, and we're all just sitting here freaking out because we're just hearing this random crying. And unfortunately, like I said, it was in the early 90s, so back then you had to be super rich to have a video camera, so I don't have any of this shit documented, but
but it's tattooed.
It is. That is a night that I will never forget, because I honestly believe that while I didn't come face to face with her, I think that she was there warning me that if I don't shape up or ship out, she's gonna come get me. And I think it scared my mom a little bit too. I ain't gonna lie. I think it scared the fuck out of everybody. You know, you be sleeping and you hear, ooh, and then you hear the wailing, like, you know, like, okay, I hate bringing up this movie because we all know how much I totally don't love it, but you know how the woman was in Hereditary when she lost a kid. the kind of crying that was coming from outside.
I want to die. It hurts too much.
Yeah, but she wasn't saying anything. She was just crying like that.
Hereditary is the only horror movie I think I've ever seen that made me legit cry. I really cried when Charlie died and Annie, Toni Collette, was on the floor.
Yep.
I mean, she captured grief.
Yeah.
She deserved an Oscar. She deserved every single Oscar. Best actress, best actor, best costume design. Give it all to her. She deserved it.
Yeah, but that right there.
That moment in that movie.
Yeah, but that was the cry.
That's what you heard.
That's what we heard.
Holy shit.
Coming out from, like I said, it sounded like it was right outside the window.
I cannot for 1 second. That's crazy.
It was I still, like, right now, literally just telling this story, reliving this moment. The hairs on my arms, legs, neck, ass, everything. Every hair I have on my body is fucking standing on edge right now. Like, it is fucking insane. Like, it's a cool ghost story to tell. I mean, it's creepy. It's
an interesting fact about your friend Gabby.
Yeah.
I am physically incapable of goosebumps. I don't get goosebumps.
What? I mean,
I get the cold chills. I get the feeling that I think is what people feel when they get goosebumps, but my skin, it doesn't, I don't get bumps.
Well, Gabs, I'll tell you right now.
If I could get goosebumps, I would have them right now.
I have them for the both of us right now because, like I said, just thinking about it, reliving it, reimagining it in my head, just remembering that night, remembering that sound. How close
my God. I would
and just remembering everybody's reaction, I think, is the scariest part. Because that was the first time ever in my life that I actually looked at my parents and my grandmother and saw fear in their face. Like, I'm talking about unadulterated. I'm talking about sheer terror. You know,
I can't imagine what your mom was feeling at that moment.
And like I said, these are people you look up to for, like, to protect you.
Yeah.
But, you know, as a kid, and then you look up and you see that look on their faces, you know, you're like, oh shit, well, they're scared. Like, this is something that I should be terrified of, especially because one of the urban legends is she comes for kids who are bad. And we're hearing this. Is she coming for me? You know what I mean? Like, nothing ever came of it, but I'm telling you, I think it was her, and I do believe she was giving me a warning.
Yeah, watch your ass, kid.
Yeah. Ship up or I'm coming to get your little fucking ass, is what she was telling me.
I mean, at least she's using her afterlife for good.
Well.
Teaching kids to act right.
Yeah, scaring the shit out of everybody.
I mean.
So that was the surprise, Gabs. I figured, you know what, I was saving this because it was a hell of a topic, and I was super excited to get this story out. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure everybody enjoyed it.
I can't say that I enjoyed it. I mean, that was terrifying, but
oh my God.
I'm glad I got to hear it. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah. And like I said, I got to relive it every day. Like, it is etched in my brain forever. So, but that's it. Well, yeah, Gabs, I think, you know what? I think this was a successful episode.
You know what, Horror Gamer? I got to tell you something.
What's up?
I think that I have an idea.
Okay.
Your story gave me a really great idea, and I am reaching out to our listeners, all, I don't know, 7 of you.
Oh, millions and millions.
To all of them.
Of Horror Haven LLC listeners out there. There's millions.
Yes. Let's put that out there. Millions and millions. If not now, soon.
Yeah.
I want to hear your ghost stories too.
Oh yeah, come on.
Come on, guys. Step it up.
Beautiful idea, Gabs. And how about, you know, we talked about this. And you know what? I agree with what you say. I'll do you one better. You have them send it to our email. You'll give them all that information, and then we will take some of the ones that we like, and we'll read them on air.
Yes, absolutely. You guys, I'm ready for this. Okay.
Yeah, so, come on.
I'm gonna give you all of our contact info again. Okay. We are at Horror Haven LLC at gmail.com. You can search for us on Instagram or the Slasher app, which if you're listening to us and you don't have the Slasher app yet, what are you doing?
Yeah,
it is the greatest. And maybe, is it the only? Probably not. But I'll tell you what, I could spend hours upon days upon days just scrolling through my Slasher feed. It's a horror enthusiast social media site.
It's the Facebook of horror.
It is the Facebook of horror. You can direct message, you can DM fellow horror fans. There are people with YouTube channels, podcasts. Hello. Filmmakers. There are independent filmmakers on there that will send you links to watch their full-length films for free.
Yes, you know what? It's funny you said that, Gabs. I've actually had somebody, a filmmaker too, and I'm going to give you a shout out right now. Jed Bryant. He is the director of Unlisted Owner.
Hello, friend.
Hey, he reached out to me and asked me if I'd do a review on his movie, and it is. I watched the movie. I did the review on my YouTube channel, but he reached out to me and he gave me a PDF of his movie, Unlisted Owner, and guess what? I like that shit so much, I went out and bought that shit on Blu-ray. Now it's
Get
in the
out
collection.
of here. Should we do an episode on it? I feel like maybe. Do you think he would come on the show?
You know what? I can reach out to him and see.
Hello, friend.
Jed.
Come on.
Hit up your boy Horror Gamer. I would love to have you on this podcast and talk a little bit about Unlisted Owner. And Gabs, I don't know if you've ever seen Unlisted Owner.
I've never even heard of it, but I'm going to look for it.
Okay, it's a found footage horror movie, and it kind of has
favorite.
Listen to this. It kind of has a Hell House LLC feel to it.
Shut your mouth.
Yep. I'm telling you, that was one of those movies where how we talked about people putting their whole heart into it.
Yes.
This man put his whole heart into this project because it is criminally underrated. For two, criminally unknown.
Yeah, I know everything about horror. I've never heard. What is it called again?
It's called Unlisted Owner.
Ooh, I love that title.
I'm telling you, it is really good.
Jed, I'm watching the movie. I want you on our podcast.
Jed,
is he on Slasher?
He is on Slasher.
I'm gonna look him up.
Yeah, Jed Bryant.
Jed Bryant. Okay, yeah. So look for us on Slasher. Have conversations with other horror enthusiasts. It's a blast. And then when you're done having those conversations, please, on Slasher at Horror Haven LLC, send us your ghost stories. Yes. On Twitter, slide into those DMs at Horror LLC. And, while you're at it, you might as well become a Patreon member. Just go to patreon.com/Horror Haven LLC. Sign up. We have very inexpensive tiers. And it doesn't matter how much you pledge. No matter what you pledge, you get direct access to your friends, Gabby and Horror Gamer, at all times. You message us, we message you back, and we do it happily because we love you guys.
Yes.
And I love ghost stories. I want to hear all of them. So let's do this. Let's get some together and let's read them. We'll do a couple episodes of just reading your ghost stories. I want to hear this stuff. I believe in ghosts. I believe in afterlife, and I believe in demons, and I want to know what's going on with everybody. This stuff happens every day. I mean, personally, I think that you're a little deluded if you think that we're the only ones.
Yeah, I believe in
ghosts. And if you think that our reality is the only reality, come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that, I don't know, Horror Gamer. I'm kind of curious what our listeners would say to this. It's only July, but I think that you and I, and actually Nick and Outlaw last week, have had the conversation that who doesn't love a slasher?
Yeah.
Should we start delving into the history of, you can't go into the history of slashers without the one, the only, in my opinion, the greatest of all time, Michael Myers, Halloween.
Yep.
I really, really, really want to talk about Michael Myers. I really want to talk about Halloween. It's not October yet. Tell us what you think, you guys. Give us some feedback. Should we start it now or should we save it for October? Because I'm pretty sure that I could probably do the entire month of October just on the slasher subgenre.
Yeah. A big part of the slasher history
is Halloween.
Yeah, it's Halloween.
Yeah, it's Halloween.
So that's one of the Mac Daddies of slashers right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I really wanted to give you guys an idea of what's happening next week, but should we save Halloween and should we save the slashers for next week? I don't know.
But
let me know.
Don't forget, there is a certain slasher out there who kind of gets his groove on in the summertime too.
Would that be?
That would be
Mr. Jason Voorhees?
Jason Voorhees. So.
Oh my God.
You can't talk about slashers without talking about my boy Jason Voorhees. Just saying.
That is true.
He is the summertime.
Could we do an episode just on Jason? That was the stupidest question I ever asked in my life.
You asking Horror Gamer if he can do an episode on Jason Voorhees? I can do a damn trilogy of episodes on Jason Voorhees.
Well, let's talk about it. And if anybody out there has an idea for what you want us to talk about, we're not limited to movies. We love the urban legends. We love the alien encounters. We love the serial killers and any kind of horrific experience that you can come up with, and we want to hear about them and we want to talk to you about them. So please get in touch with us. We want to talk to you. We love you guys. Just the fact that you're listening to us right now, I'm already obsessed with you. I don't know about you, Horror Gamer, but
I love you guys.
Yeah. I am head over heels in love with you. Dude, and I want you to talk to us. So we're best friends. I don't know if you know this, but listener, you and I, we're besties for life.
Yeah, besties all day, every day.
BFF.
But yeah, so like Gab said, Horror Haven LLC is not just about the movies. It is about horror in general. Anything that has to do with the genre, anything.
Yes.
Just slide into the DMs and let us know what you think. What episode you would like to see us do, and we'll be happy to oblige.
And if you join that Patreon, you can be a part of the episode that you choose.
Absolutely.
$15 a month? Come on.
Oh my
you
gosh.
Choose the episode. You co-host. You get to spend some time with Gabby and Horror Gamer. What more could you ask for?
How exciting is that?
We'll even send a pizza to your house.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that, but it might be missing a slice or two because you put Horror Gamer on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's not here nor there. But I don't know. Gabs, you know what? I think this is a good time to let everybody know. Not after you're done with all the checking of our socials and everything, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And Gabs, I think this is a good time to bid everybody adieu. What do you think?
Everybody that's listening to us right now, I just love you guys, and I'm so grateful and thankful that you are listening to us right now. But Horror Gamer had a really good point. This is step one. Listen to us and like us, but you gotta go to those platforms. You have to go to those podcast platforms. Subscribe to us. Rate us.
Yes.
Give us that good review. And
Yes.
please tell your friends. Tell them about us. Tell them to listen to us. We want you guys to hear us, and we want to hear you.
Yes. Yes. This, believe it or not, Horror Haven LLC is a family. We are
Yes.
the horror family.
Yes.
But, and
Us
Gabs
horror
couldn't have said
fans
any
have
better.
to stick together, man.
Absolutely. There's not many of us out
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah.
We are a dying breed.
Yes.
So
We are a niche culture, and let's all stick together and let's hang out. I want
that's
to
it.
talk. Yeah.
That's it. Yep. But, all right, Gabs, with all that being said, this is your boy Horror Gamer
And I'm Gabby.
saying until next time, we love you guys. Thank you guys. And as always, don't fear the darkness.
Embrace it.